Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're looking at something pretty big, a potential shift in how cities operate, all based on this proposal called the Door to Door No More initiative.
Right. And it really revolves around, believe it or not, street furniture.
Yeah.
Specifically, the multifunction smart pole, the MFP.
Exactly. Not just, a tech upgrade. It seems more like an economic rethink. So, okay, let's unpack this a bit. The main goal seems to be tackling, well, two big urban headaches: unstable jobs and the environmental cost of how we move around cities.
hmm And doing it by creating infrastructure that basically pays for itself.
Pays for itself. How?
Well, that's what's so interesting. They're aiming to solve the funding problem, structurally. It uses guaranteed commercial money, think advertising revenue. That revenue stream is meant to cover the upfront cost, the CapEx, for things like smart lighting or waste sensors. So cities wouldn't necessarily need tax money for it.
Right, avoiding the usual budget battles. So if the idea is self-funding infrastructure, we probably need to look at what it's replacing first. The door-to-door sales force, the D2D model. What's the reality for those workers?
Yeah, it's tough. Economically, it's really precarious. The median wage in the U.S., just around $34,910 a year.
Wow.
And the turnover is incredibly high. Replacing just one sales rep can cost a company like half to maybe even 4 times their annual salary. It's just not sustainable.
So expensive for businesses.
Exactly. And it's also kind of out of sync with how people want to buy things now.
How so?
Well, research shows about a third of people regret buying something from a D2D interaction almost immediately.
Oof. Buyer's remorse.
Yeah. And in the business-to-business space, it's even starker. 3/4 of B2B buyers actually prefer not to deal with a sales rep at all.
So the whole model is kind of dated.
You could say structurally obsolete, yeah.
And then there's the environmental piece, all those cars driving around for sales calls.
Right. That falls under Scope 3 carbon emissions. It's a significant source.
So getting rid of thousands of those strips, that's a real measurable cut in emissions we could avoid.
A very direct impact.
Okay, so the D2D model has issues. How does this smart pole, this $3,000 to $4,000 piece of hardware, step in? What does it actually do?
Well, it's modular, which helps with cost. It pulls together a few key services, things like high-efficiency LED street lighting, which saves energy. Then there's IoT waste management.
Using sensors in bins.
Exactly, to make crash collection routes smarter. Globally, we're looking at maybe 3.4 billion tons of waste by 2050, so optimizing collection is huge.
Makes sense. And the money part.
Yes. Crucially, they have integrated digital display screens. That's the engine.
For ads, right? Digital out-of-home, DOH.
Precisely. Hyper-local DOH advertising. We're talking typical rates of maybe $20 to $25 per thousand impressions, the CPM.
And does that actually generate enough?
Well, the case studies look promising. They show a basic return on ad spend, ROAS, of about 5.3 times.
So like a 431% ROI for the advertisers?
That's the figure, yeah. And that predictable cash flow is what's designed to cover the pool's total cost over its life, the TCO.
That ROI sounds almost too good. What's the catch for the city? What if the local ad market tanks? Are they suddenly stuck with a huge bill?
That's definitely a key risk, you're right. The way they try to mitigate that is through long-term, guaranteed revenue contracts.
Oh, locking it in.
Yeah, trying to lock in enough income to cover the maintenance and operation for the whole life cycle. It really depends on that local DOH market staying stable, rather than relying on, say, annual city budgets, which can fluctuate wildly.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's shift gears a bit to the people involved, the social side. A big part of this is moving those D2D workers into different jobs, right? These green-collar roles.
Yes, specifically becoming a Certified Integrated Infrastructure Technician, or IIT.
And IIT, what does that involve?
It's about taking the skills they already have from D2D, persistence, thinking on their feet,
Okay.
and retraining them for technical work. Diagnostics on the systems, checking network health, physically maintaining the sensors, security protocols.
So a more stable career track?
That's the goal. Stable jobs, specialized training, and wages that should be significantly better than that D2D median we talked about.
Putting things like CCTV and location tracking into public streetlights raises massive red flags, surely. Privacy concerns.
Absolutely. That's a huge policy hurdle. You can't just roll these out without tackling the surveillance issue head on.
So what's the answer? GDPR and CCPA compliance?
That's the baseline. Yeah, it's mandatory, but it probably needs to go further. The principle should be anonymity by design.
Meaning
Things like technically separating the data streams. Safety data, like real-time video for immediate threats, has to be completely walled off from the commercial data used for ads.
Right, keep them separate.
And minimize the data collected overall. Purge session data quickly. It's all crucial to build, or rather maintain, public trust and guard against misuse or even physical tampering like data skimming.
Okay, so pulling it all together, it sounds like if it works, it's a win-win-win. Fixed infrastructure, less carbon, ad money, paying for public stuff. And unstable jobs becoming more secure, green-collar jobs.
That's the synergy they're aiming for, yes.
So what's the key to making it actually happen on a large scale?
I think it really comes down to governance. Cities need to move past just doing small tech pilots here and there.
They need a bigger strategy.
Exactly. They need to issue RFPs, requests for proposals that are driven by outcomes, RFPs that specifically demand proof of financial self-sufficiency and measurable social benefits, like the job transitions.
Got it. Okay, final thought then, maybe a bit provocative for you listening. Could the entire future of funding our public spaces, our streets, actually depend on how good cities get at selling ads?
It's a compelling question, isn't it?
Something to think about anyway. Especially as you see this market for smart street furniture projected to hit nearly, $6 billion by 2032? Keep an eye on it.